Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to continue to take a look at the scenario where civilization started over. So we're currently at episode 11 of the series, and in the last one we saw stuff happening like Crimea becoming pretty big. So the consequences of the Great Eastern War, and we saw actually how Europe is building up for something very important. So yeah, we're going to actually start with our daily Russia updates, and there's actually not another country forming for like the first time in lots. So see actually here Ladoga Lake and this weird Russian country splitting the land peacefully, and then we see this bluish country becoming even more big and like yeah. Then we see that something happens in between Belarus and in the Baltics. They actually form an alliance. Yes, that's true. One of the strongest countries in the world just allied itself with Belarus to defeat the Russian League. And also Ladoga might help them. Yeah, that's not great. Then we see Archangelsk expanding a bit, and then we see a small exploration which is well actually not that small, but yeah, it's a decent exploration which we see Belarus keeping on with expanding, and they do pretty big expansion route, and now they go on and meet with Crimea. Let's just say that Crimea doesn't like them, but like really doesn't, hates them to the bit, because they see them as a foreign invader. And yeah, this leads to some border skirmish, and yeah, this is what is starting. Crimea will actually put up a really good resistance, but Belarus will have no trouble into cutting off Crimea for their nearly assimilated land, which is going to be breakaway under this color because we need more orangish countries. I think they were going to see actually Athens getting one land. And yeah, Crimea looks cooked. Looks like they cannot do anything. They still they still try to fight though, and after a Belarusian offensive, the front stabilizes. We can see that Crimea actually breaks an encirclement, and those another one. We see this is happening. Yeah, we see how this war will probably never end, and since it's becoming a stalemate, Belarus decides to peace out. So yeah, this is what is happening. This is the peace treaty. Whoops. Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, messed up. This is the peace treaty. We can see that Belarus has become pretty big and got some chunk out of Crimea, and they're becoming a superpower. They're becoming a real powerful country, and we can see that this small thing here becomes a Belarusian puppet state. We can see that Crimea has been reduced. This country gets independence. We see Athens getting the land. But actually, this country is pretty unstable. So they will have one sign breakaway, I guess. It's too similar, so we'll make it like um this color is fine. That is the same color as the ocean. Like I don't care. We see this is what's happening. And yeah, Crimea before the war though expanded like they did this, and now since they're pretty weak, they don't know if they can. They don't know if they can manage to keep the land. Yeah, they somehow managed to keep it though. But what happens is that Caspia actually decides to go west, and they will finally start to discover this, reducing the undiscovered land layer. Yeah, like Caspia expanded pretty much west, even though they have explored a bit east, they mostly expanded over here. And yeah, this is what is happening. They're becoming pretty huge and pretty large. And they might have to stop expanding or they might become unstable. Yeah, then let's take a look here because yeah, Belarus after the war is actually going to keep on expanding. But now, what does Malmo think about this huge Belarusian team which just allied with the Baltics and Ladoga and is pretty aggressive? They do not like them that much, but they got their own problems. Like they already have Oslo to fight with. They do not want another rival. So yeah, the Baltics broke away really long time ago from Malmo, and now they're rivals for controlling the Baltic Sea. Malmo controls the entrance for a while. But yeah, we're going to see that the blue team now will decide to join an Oslo alliance. And since I cannot give shapes, I will actually decide to give names. So the name of the alliance made by Malmo is the Kaliningrad Pact because it was signed. Actually, let's name it the Pomeranian Pact, the Pomeranian Alliance, I guess. Pomeranian Community. And yeah, signing Pomerania, and we see that in this alliance there are Germany, Malmo, Brown, France, and also the Dutch country. So yeah, it's a pretty decent alliance. And then we see that there is the Calais Treaty Organization, the CTO, and yeah, it's an alliance made by Oslo, Line Belgium, and the blue team which just joined in, the yellow team which was Stockholm but they lost Stockholm. Yeah, we can see that a tripolar system is actually growing. Whoa, already 9 minutes. Well, let's take a look at the exploration of the Balkans. Because the Milan country, yeah, they expanded a bit, not that much. They expanded a little bit. And yeah, then we see that actually Naples is going to expand here to control the Adriatic, and Athens is going to ally with Milan to try and stop Naples. Oh yeah, five polar system now. I do not know, but somehow they managed to do a mass exploration of the Balkans because of Athens actually. Because they do actually expand like a lot. Like this happens, which might be tough. Depends if you guys like Athens or not. But yeah, we can see that they have become pretty large. In Naples as also as rival the Balearic Empire, which just allied with Athens too. And of course, this alliance is actually called the Sardinian Commonwealth. Yes, it was signed in Sardinia, part of the Balearic Empire. Actually, probably the Barcelona organization is a good name. I don't know. Yeah, for all. Yeah, and we see that Athens has actually expanded a bit here too, and they made a smaller exploration over here, but it's still a decent exploration, I guess. Yeah, because they didn't focus as much as they did in the Balkans. They're still a decently strong country. Now we see that Egypt abandoned Cyprus. For some reason, no one manages to control it. We see Cyprus becoming independent. And Egypt is now going to explore, actually, to make exploration. Like in Arabia, they're going to, and they aren't expanding. To see it's actually Tunisia, yes, or Carthage, or how call it. And then we see that the Balearic Empire is now control over the Strait of Gibraltar. And yeah, but now we actually have to take a look at power rankings because who is the strongest country in the world? Because there are actually a lot. The strongest one was China, but they kind of collapsed and are a bit unstable. So I say that actually Malmo is pretty strong, but I see that Oslo has surpassed them. I say that Oslo is stronger now alone, probably. So we actually see Oslo and the Baltics tied up for first place. Belarus is weaker than Malmo. Malmo is third. We see Germany being fifth, while Belarus is fourth. We actually Lion Belgium is fifth. Well, actually, Brown France is fifth, while Lion Belgium is sixth. But they're basically tied up. Yeah, it's a pretty chaotic thing. We see that this small country, oh, they got eaten. That's sad. Yeah, we're actually going to see that the Chinese government shouldn't stable saying. Let's see that actually this is happening. We see that they still expand, but somehow Line Belgium makes a sale and takes this. The borders are looking way more ugly now. Like they're actually gearing themselves up. They they hate themselves. So with this line, Belgium has actually surpassed Brown France. They're still there though. But yeah, See that actually China cannot expand. Korea can. Korea can and will expand. Japan will expand and will hold up. I think this was, yeah, it was a country, Hokkaido. Yeah, I'll make him. I'll change the color because it might be inspired by also wicso. Just a coincidence. Please, alt, don't sue me. Please don't copyright strike me. I will do a notice of your wicso to if you don't strike me. Please. Yeah, let's solicit that the Philippines are also expanding and they're becoming pretty big, I guess. And the other Chinese government cannot expand because they can like they cannot invade the ocean. They can try to do this sail, but if China discovers that, it's probably war. And this central Chinese, this new China, it still wants to chill for now. Like they don't want another war. Yeah, actually see that Hokkaido's too weak to actually do something. We see that Japan is discovering this island, but it's the only island that they managed to discover. Yeah, but then let's take a look at the Pyrenees country, which was kind of allied from France. They joined Malmo Alliance. You virtually see this is building up. We see a very big expansion made at the Pyrenees country, and we see this happening also. A, a very Portugal is slowly getting discovered, and yeah, but now an arms race has started between Europe. Asia is chilling for now. Europe isn't. An arms race has started. Alliances are watching themselves, knowing that this might be the Russian League. Now we see something horrible happen. The Baltics and Belarus joined the Alliance of Oslo, which I think was called the Calais Treaty Organization. Yeah, they joined the CTO, and Ladoga also does. This is scary. This is Bill. The Russian League will join the Pomeranian community, and Crimea will also do. See, actually, that Athens is chilling for. See that the Naples. Yeah, the Mediterranean is still pretty neutral, even though they hate each other. So yeah, but when it thinks the arms race is threatening Malmo, their power is fading. There are too many strong countries near them. They have to do something, and they order German troops to cross the border with the blue team, Denmark, which is not blue. And then we see some sails actually invading it. The blue team was not prepared at all. They somehow managed to resist though. And Oslo says this and declares war on Malmo. The entirety of the Pomeranian community joins in, and the Calais Treaty Organization does too. It's a big, we say the beginning of, this is the beginning of the War of the Sailors. See you guys in the next episode. We see the first big European war since episode 4. And trust me, because this is shifting Europe. Like, this is a major war. And other countries might join. Like Rhineland isn't in the war right now, but they might join. Who knows? The Dutch joined though, so they already joined. So yeah, we see also rivalries like Oslo and Malmo, Belarus and the Russian League, Brown France and Line Belgium, which is probably the biggest rivalry in my wicso as a whole. And yeah, see you guys in the next episode.